Alright guys, so right now I'm going to explain you the 5 important metrics. So these are the 5 metrics that is supporting the formula. The formula is CPA must be lower than AOV, right? So at the very beginning of your campaign, before you start, you wanna know what kind of ROI that you want for your campaign to be, right? Maybe it's 2 to 1, or maybe it's a 5 times return on investment. So your return on investment has to be logical based on your industry. So let's say if you're selling a product, and then the typical range for that is like 2 to 3 times of ROI. So if you're in a real estate agent, it can be as high as 10 times, right? Depending on your nature of business. So right now I'm going to list out one by one the important metrics that is important for that formula to work. Okay, so if your campaign is not working, or somehow you're not achieving the ROI you want, it's because of these 5 metrics that I'm going to list out right now. Okay, so the number 1 metric is CPC. This it's called cost per click, CPC. So it means that how much does it cost you for someone to click on your ads. That means they saw your ads and then they click on it. How much does it cost you, right? Number 2 is CTR. CTR means click-through rate. What is the percentage of people click on your ads? When they saw your ads on their newsfeed or the mobile, how many percent of them click on your ads and then landed to your sales page or landing page or your e-commerce site? Number 3 is what we call cost per lead, CPL. How much does it cost you? How much does Facebook cost you to turn someone into a lead? That means maybe you are doing a coaching service. You provide freebies up front, and then for someone to claim it. So how much does it cost you for that one person to claim your freebies, right? Number 4 is this. Conversion rate. Conversion rate of leads. How many click on your ads, and then out of that, how many turn into a lead? Okay, we are talking about leads here. So number 5 is this. Conversion rate also. It's also conversion rate. Lead to customers. That means how many leads that you get, and then how many out of that many leads, how many turn into a customers, a paying customers. So leads means someone who express interest in your product or services, but they're not customers yet. So if they turn into a customer, that means they pay you for your service or your product, right? So these are the 5 important metrics that we want to track. So what we want to do with these 5 metrics is that we want to find out the maximum, right? The maximum number of percentage of cost that you can go in order to hit your ROI. So let's work through some examples or numbers so that it's more understandable. Okay, let's say, okay, let's is the formula. CPA must be lower than AOV, average order cut. So let's make it simple. Let's say your AOV, your coach, and then your AOV is 1,000 for simplicity's sake. So before you launch this campaign, you want to know what this campaign ROI going to be. You decide first, and then you establish the maximum numbers that it can hit in order for that to achieve that kind of ROI. So let's say you want to achieve, make it simple, 1 to 2 ROI, right? Okay, before you launch your ads, you decided to have a 2 times return on investment. That means your CPA has to be, all right, 500, right? 500, you acquire a customer, and then that customer pay you 1,000 in return. That means you have a 1 to 2 return on investment. No? So let's say if you want, so let's say this campaign you decided to have a 2 times investment, and then you decided also you want to have 100 customers from this campaign, right? So 100 customers. From this campaign. So that means your CPA, your total CPA to acquire 100 customers, the maximum number is 5,000, right? Total. It means that this campaign you have to spend a maximum, okay, a maximum of 5,000 in order to get a 2 to 1 to 2 return on investment. Of course, it can be lower. If it's lower, that means your return on investment is much higher. Okay, so 100, let's say 100 customers. Okay, so what is the typical range for a lead to convert into a customers? Okay, we want to be a little bit conservative here. We don't want to put too high, because later the calculation will be off. So we want to be conservative first. So let's say we put 1%. Okay, 1% of leads turn into customers, right? So 1%, that means if you want to get 100 customers, we're gonna have 10,000 leads. Right? 10,000, 1% of 10,000 turns into 100 customers, and 1%. And then the conversion rate. Okay, we're gonna be conservative. The typical range of the conversion rate of people clicking on your ads turn into a leads. Normally it ranges from 20 to 30%, depending on the offer that you're giving them, whether or not they're resonating with the offer that you offer. Okay, so let's put it at 30%. Okay, that is the normal range that we can see. Okay, if you put here 30%, that means you have to, that means 10,000 divided by 0.3. Okay, you want to get 3 clicks. So this number click on your ads, and then 30% of them turn into leads. You get 10,000 leads, and then conversion rate at 1%. That means you get 100 customers. So this, as long as these numbers is correct, you will be no problem to achieve this kind of ROI, right? So the cost per lead here is because this is the maximum. This is the maximum amount of budget that you can allocate for this campaign to hit ROI of 2x. So 5,000 divided by 10,000, 5,000 divided by 10,000, it's 50 cents. So this number means the maximum cost per lead that you can go. If it's higher than if it's higher than 50%, that means you have to do something with your ads. If not, you cannot hit this ROI that you set at the very beginning. Okay. But of course, if you get a CPL, cost per lead, of 20 cents, that means your ROI will be much higher than expected, provided everything remains the same. Okay, and then the click-through rate, that means cost per click needs to be maximum 5,000 divided by 15 cents. Can you see what I mean here? This is the maximum number, this is the maximum cost that you can have in order to hit this ROI that you set. Okay, so CTR, normally we use that to determine the performance of your ads, whether your ads is resonating with your target audience. Normally it's around 2 to 3%. So yeah, after you establish the maximum numbers, that means you run your campaign, and then if you find out that your conversion rate is lower than 1%, that means you need to do something because you can't hit that number. Okay? But of course, if you have a higher conversion rate, like 50%, that means your conversion rate can be lower. Right? So it doesn't have to be black and white. If this is higher, this can be lower, and then that means this can be cheaper, right? So that's all for the 5 important metrics. Yeah.